Oh, I'm gonna wait till some people come off in here. You did. I'm gonna see. Wait till some people come off. So, something very interesting happened about an hour ago, and I really had no intentions of going live. However, um, it was just interesting enough that I wanted to bring it to the scenario because say baby, what's happening, baby? Case K, say baby. Sorry it's so late. I really do apologize. Now before we get off into it, so much of this true crime on the internet, a lot of times it's so skewed, right? And I've always been say Ruby Doo, what's up, baby? A lot of times you're trying to find a baseline, right? You're trying to so there. So there. I feel like, I feel like Solar is on the level. It is. Sarah Beth, hey, 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 hey. I like your style. Yeah, it is. Hey, Donna. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and jump into it because I don't want this thing to last forever, right? I know it's so late, and I know that the replay folks they'll catch it in the morning. Um, Thank you, thank you, thank you. What's up, crazy looking ass? So a lot of times, I've always told people, and I know I'm not the only one. A lot of people have used sort of a baseline, right? Whether it's a baseline for truth, or be it a baseline for, hey, Queen Ashley, or it be a baseline for deceit, right? Now, I think that with Don and Candace, we have a fairly I want to say we have a fairly accurate grasp on when they lie and you can see their behavior, and then you see that same exhibition of behavior in exhibiting of behavior in another situation. And I think sometimes it's accurate, and I think sometimes it's not, right? So you're welcome. So when I did the last video, um, maybe some of you saw it, maybe some of you didn't. Um, in the last video I did about the wells, it was a pre-recorded situation. The last video, I went into the situation with the PayPal, right? And I sort of just laid it out in a sense like it would not be inconceivable to think that they hadn't left each other and they're still together. And it could be conceivable to believe that she had actually left due to the vicious abuse that Don Wells can put on anyone that's around him, right? So before we do all that, I want to just do a little intro. It's been a long time. You know what I'm saying? To go ahead and bring Mr. Wells on. Can you expound on that a little bit? Because I have not heard anything about that. I don't know nothing about that. I hate that we have to see each other again under these circumstances. That's what this is all about. Prayers. Thank you for all the support. And I know Don has turned a lot of hearts around.
Trying to do everything the best I can, That was my whole life, was coming home to my kids. Prayers for Summer, prayers for everybody. God bless you, God.
All right. Well, hello, sweet crazy. Again, I want to thank everybody. I had to get this down because, um, you know, anytime creators put things up that I feel like are beneficial and informational, um, it's so important to get it documented, right? Not to throw any shade on Ernie, but Ernie has he has a lot of people that troll him, this, that, and the other. So I felt like this was very time sensitive in a way that we really kind of needed to get this documented, right? So some very interesting things took place. If you aren't following Ernie, then you probably missed it, right? So there's a few things that we're going to cover, and I'm going to try to cover them as quick as we can because I know a lot of you ladies, you got stuff going on. You got to wake up to kids. Maybe you got to work tomorrow. Maybe you're just downright tired and you're here to support anyways, right? So again, it's about 2.5 hours old, but it was towards the end of the stream where Candace, now mind you, Candace, this is the second night in a row that Candace has joined his chat log, right? So again, thank you everybody who's joined us. No, yeah, so Ernie never gets trolled, and no one ever tries to take his videos down, or maybe he never says anything that gets his videos taken down. I too have also been in that situation where sometimes cooler heads don't prevail, and next thing you know, bam, your channel's on the floor, right? So let me turn my computer's running a little slow. So the title of Ernie's video is Night Falls. Now I'm not here, and I also want to preface it in a way where I would like to keep the chat log clean. We're not really here to bash Ernie at all. I don't want to deal with that. What we're here to do is to look at what Ernie's done, actually, right? I'm here to applaud. Hey, Alanis, good to see you. It's been a long time, baby. Ernie actually put together a pretty good scenario tonight, and I have to compliment the dude. Outside of anything he has going on in his personal life or anything, hey, Treed, outside of anything in his personal life or anything him and I have went through, we're only going to focus on the clean slate for tonight, right? Now, Ernie, he does have a gift for certain things, as we all do. None of us are great at everything, right? Ernie, he does have a knack for sometimes getting people to invest a little bit more in the conversation than they actually want to or need to. And I just wanted to take a moment to, hey, Rocket Queen, to applaud Ernie for the way that he styled this, right? It was slick. It was helpful. He asked open-ended questions, which is a big part of his repertoire, asking open-ended questions, allowing people to continue to talk, let them, answer and answer and answer. And so, hey, Michelle, I do want to say, Grammy H, good to see you. I do want to say that he did a phenomenal job this evening. Now, that's not going to be so widely well received for me to say things about Ernie when I know he's got a war going on, right? Ernie, if you're out there and you're listening, I would, in fact, like to hear your opinion if you're in a spot where you can do that. Moving forward, right around the 49-minute mark is where kind of the action all jumps off. Now, like I said, there's going to be a few things, and as they present themselves, we will talk about them a little more in depth.
On one of the roads, a sidewalk or something, and it dumped me head over, and I broke I hurt my bottom part of my left side. It wasn't as hurt, but when I went over and I had the stuff all pulled up on the walker.
Now you can see right here, Candace has jumped into the chat, right? Chat log. Now, what I will say is up to this point, I don't want to butcher it, but I believe up to this point, the only thing that he had said in reference to her was that she visited his chat room, his chat log last night, right? So we all know about riding the bushes, right? Being in the bushes, bush watching. We all know about that. And typically, I think that over the course of all of the media that's been created about the scenario, I think that it's fair to say we all know that there's been time. They've told us there's been times that they've bushwatched and not said anything. So in my opinion, Candace wanted to be identified. She wanted to be observed. However, she wasn't quite ready for the game that Ernie was going to put on tonight.
And it just like tilted me over because I was kind of trying to walk fast as a mistake. And it jarred me and I went over top of it and the thing stuck in my rib and it broke another fucking nerve. It fractured or something. It done something to my left side that's been killing me. But I got this thing now. It's got these big ass rubber wheels on it. It's got 4 wheels.
Now, Terry, she has identified that Candace has joined the conversation, right?
It's crazy, I tell you. Why you always talking about camp?
Now he knows. He knows. Now, the one thing that I do want to point out is that she came in pretty confrontational, right? Why are you always talking about me? Had not heard him say anything about her relative to the time that she first came in, right? So,
Candace, what you talking about, girl? I ain't talking about you. You talking about? How you been doing, Candace? I hope you're doing well. I really do. I'm out in the hood, seeing if I can live. Don't nobody block Candace, guys. Let Candace talk. Don't be talking to Terry, Cam. You're not talking to Terry. I'm just playing. Have fun. Just enjoy chat. Hell.
So she's here. She's confrontational. She pops in, says hello to Terry, right? And wishes her well. I'm giving you play-by-play because this time of night there may be folks that just can't read this small. Here, let's blow it up a little bit for you. Yeti. There we go.
But
hey, Miss
Candace, I heard you doing pretty good. Heard you got away from White Boy Radio. That's the best thing you could have done. You know that, right?
Everybody.
Seriously. You got away with that dick with ears. Look, that dude looks just like a dick with ears. I don't care what anybody says. I could put lightning bolts in the chat.
I'm also not here to narrate any issues between Ernie and any other creators. And that context is, we're not going to context it
all day long, Candace. That dude look like a dick with ears. I don't care. It's funny. It's funny. So, what did you get involved with them for? You knew what they was doing.
Now, throughout the course of this thing, you're going to, hopefully it's going to be apparent to you that Ernie knows more than I think a lot of us know Ernie knows. Does that make sense? I know it's kind of word salady a little bit, but Ernie clearly knows things. Now I don't subscribe or listen to a lot of different creators for whatever reason. We're not here to drag that out tonight, but he knows, right? And that's sort of a consistent theme throughout the course of this thing. Like he knows things, and I found it so very interesting, right? This is sort of the element that I wish Ernie would sort of take on and sort of, carry the load of being true crime, because the guy really has a knack for certain things. I have to give it to him.
You knew what they was doing, and you
for sure.
I don't understand you. I really don't. I just don't. Never did understand you, Candace. I never will understand you. Candace, listen to this song.
Now, the other thing that is so important that I want you to identify is that he really has sort of taken on the persona of an investigator or someone that is well versed in how to question people. At this point, Ernie's in his element, right? So what he's doing is he's kind of breaking her down, right? It's gentle, it's subtle, but it's to the point. He's breaking her down, right? Only to later on you'll see, and it's, I think you could probably get where I'm going with it. He's going to build her back up. but he's going to take her through the whole range of emotions. You know, it's sort of shaped like a V or a U. He's going to break her down, and then he's going to build her back up, right? And it was really, it's been a long time since I've seen Ernie, you know, be in this element.
Listen to this song I made about White Boy Radio. Listen to this song. You ready? Listen to this song. Don't be laughing now, but listen to this song. Let me find it. Where the hell did it go? This is White Boy Radio song right here. I made this one. What the hell did I do with it?
Now, the connotation to the other channel is going to become very clear. However, we're going to skip through that because that's not why we're here, right? Let's see.
I'm telling you right now, she's laughing. YouTube is evil. People are so mean.
Okay. Let me back up just a little bit.
What they claim to be. I'm not long. I'm telling you right now, she's laughing. YouTube is evil. People are so.
So now you see Candace. She's saying YouTube is evil and people are so mean, right?
Mean. And you get right involved in it. You pull yourself right into it. You didn't realize it at the time.
He's right. When you think about the creators that my dad used to tell me years ago, he said, if ever in the span of one day you meet 3 a-holes, you need to find the nearest mirror and look at the real a-hole, right? It can't be that every single creator that Don and Candace have positioned themselves around, it can't be that all the creators are the issue. Now, granted, some percentage of the creators may have very well been the issue, but there's been a falling out with every single relationship they've made with people online, right? Now, that doesn't stop just at online. It carries on through their real life, right? They hold the pocket of someone in life, and then by the time it's all over, said and done with, right, they burn the bridge, they talk bad about him, whatever the case may be, but they burn up every relationship they can get their hands on. That's facts. Now, there's some toxicity built in that I know we all know, if we're aficionados of the situation, that there are people that circle back. They spin back around and they come back and they give it a second shot. We saw that with Allie. We saw that with Andrew Hiltz. We've seen that with Jose. We've seen that with just so many people, right? And I won't even go down the list of people that Candace and Don have fallen out with, right? If you follow the case, then you know it's a dozen or more probably.
You know how much money they made off you, Candace? You know.
Now, right now, what Ernie is doing, in my opinion, is he's injecting something into the confidence, right? He is on top of letting her know that he knows, he's also kind of trying to knock her balance off the square, so to speak, right? So what he's doing is he's, sort of underhandedly talking about another creator that they were close to. Again, if any one of you know, it was White Boy Radio down in lockdown and his wife. Now, what's interesting about that is that of all the people left on the internet that were willing to deal with them, it was Matt and Noel. They gave Candace and Don a platform. They cared about their situation. They tried to keep in constant contact. I only know this from surfing around and seeing the comments from Matt and Noel, where they're trying to be supportive. They're trying to create contact. In fact, let me show you this really quick. This is the PayPal. Now, Candace claimed she wanted to start again, right? Start her new life in Georgia. She'd have left Don. She'd have had it up to here, all that, right? So if you go down here and you pop on the comments, right? There goes the iPad. Go down here. You can clearly see right here. Matt says, Noel is trying to get a hold of you, mama, right? And then Candace says, okay, thanks. So trying to keep it consistent, trying to, I applaud Matt and Noel, right? Because there really isn't anyone left in this community that's willing to deal with them, right? And I mean that with such sincerity, right? And I applaud Matt and Noel for being patient with them, because Matt and Noel know exactly what I went through for 8, 9, 10 months dealing with them. It's constant everyday drama. It's the issues between Don and Candace. It's the issues between Don, Candace, and the rest of the world. It's money stuff. It's always super uber negative, right? They're never going to call you with any uplifting stories about what happened to them during this day, right? It's always the worst of the worst, right? And I'll be honest with you, it's only so long that you can put up with that before it starts affecting your real life. Okay. So and I'm also showing this as an example of me surfing around and seeing where Matt and Noel were making a conscious effort to try to be in contact with them. Right now, what's also interesting is I don't know Matt's motivation. I'm sure it has nothing more to do than just deliver the message that he's trying to make contact, or he's making contact rather, and that Noel needs to talk to her as well. But let me show you something. If you were to go to any one of her other posts that don't have anything to do with grifting money from the internet, let's try here. Candace isn't going to answer you. She's not going to care about nothing. Well, here's one, right? This is the GoFundMe for them. Of course, right? Anything grift related, she's going to be all on it, right? So I think I make my point there, right? Although it's not a crazy subtle point. That's the way it's always been. Always, right?
How much money they made off you and your family? You don't realize that, do you? You don't realize they don't give a fuck about you or your dog.
Now, in Matt and Noel's defense, let me tell you what. It should be a 401k with stock options, a company car, and medical, dental, and optical insurance to deal with the Wells. Any moment that you deal with the Wells in furtherance to help their plight, which we hope just remains centered and focused around finding their daughter, which Matt will probably attest at some point to the fact that it's usually not, right? It's usually not. So I do disagree with Ernie here, because there is just no way you can deal with Don and Candace every day for as long as Matt and Noel have without giving a F. It's impossible, right? And again, to piggyback that and reiterate myself is that if you any future creators, if you find yourself dealing with Don and Candace, you better be getting paid. You better be getting paid.
Or all your other boys, they don't realize, you realize that shit. And no matter how many times people talk about it, and they say, Candace, hey, let me ask you a question, Candace. How much money did you make out of that? What'd you put in your pocket? You need to reach another pocket, see what it is? What'd you make? How much?
Now, of course, he's trying to get under her skin, and it works, right? He didn't have to use a crowbar, a forklift, nothing, no extra tools. He just is able to just walk her right into the door, right?
Did he give you any money? You're being fucking used. So sad, Candace. So much out there. Yes, I do.
Okay. Candace now is going to say, yes, I do it, but do you know how much money everyone has made on them but me? There we go with the victimhood, right? Candace has made a ton of money. She's also discounting the fact that she's got GoFundMe's and she's got this and she's got that, and people have left Christmas money and people have sent money for new leather jackets and fancy sunglasses and all this other stuff, right? So it's the victim, poor me, right? And that to me is like when someone is not a victim and they make themselves a victim, oh man, it like triggers the lightning tiger in me. Like I'm ready to chase something down. You know what I mean? Like it just, I hate it. And I don't hate too much in the world, but I just hate when somebody plays the victim when most of the time they're the aggressor. Moving forward.
Dude, but do you know how much money everyone has made on them but me? Yeah, I know how much money. Goddamn, Candace. God damn, man.
Computer's slowing down. I'll be right back.
I would say something. I don't want to hurt your feelings, Candace, but I think you already know.
ATOG was admin.
You wouldn't be over here if you didn't know. Fact. You let these people.
Now, I think we can all sort of see what's coming, right? Like 2 nights in a row, Candace is over here, right? She's going to come over here and I don't want to spoiler alert it, but she's not going to talk bad or good, rather, about people that have stood in the gap for her, right? Don't think that just because Matt and Noel started to try to help Don and Candace that every single person had a great comment for Matt and Noel. No, that doesn't change. People are still coming around Matt and Noel and say, hey, those people are guilty. These people are this, they're that. What Matt and Noel did was they uploaded a bunch of negativity and grief for themselves, right? That's a fact.
People come into your life, Candace, and they tell you all the good things you want to hear, all the little fucking nothings, okay? And you take that for granted, and you take that as it's going to be reality.
Now, this is the standard issue response from Don and Candace. It's not as if one is outstanding from the ideology of the other. That hardly ever happens. When it does, they're going upside each other's head, both sides of their head, right? What she says here is, F them people. I'm over all of them. You can't hurt me no more. Now, we understand that a lot of grammatically, right, Candace sometimes doesn't say what she means and doesn't mean what she says, right? So, but I think the front part of that is pretty clear, right? He's talking about Matt and Noel, and she's saying F them people, right? But it's going to get more interesting.
When the reality is, Candace, they don't give a shit about you, your family, and especially fucking Summer Wells. They don't give a care if she's found or not. They don't care. You know why? Because as long as she stays gone, guess what, Candace? Guess what? There's always a circle. There's always that drama, and there's always a new story that can be made out of life. That's so fucking sad.
Now, Candace is going to comment here, because I wear, and that kind of gives you a little idea, a little glimpse, segue into the grammatical issues, because I wear my heart on my sleeve. I would agree with that. When you're about 4 fingers into a bottle of whiskey, I think everybody does. We've all seen Don and Candace cry all over the internet, right? I don't know if they're sober or not, but we do know the behavior of both Don and Candace when this thing initially kicked off, and throughout the course of most of it, they love to get intoxicated, come on live streams, and talk BS. We know this. That's no secret, right? But again, it's more of that victim me, like F them people, because I wear my heart on my sleeve.
You wear your heart on your sleeve? Where do you wear your mind at, Candace? That's the thing. Your heart's always going to be out there, hell. But you got to get some common sense somewhere to say, hey, wait a minute, whoa, what am I benefiting from? How is my people? You know, you don't. I know you understand that, and you want to make. Candace, he's had you and Don on there, and they've been. You grew his channel for him. You've literally paved the way for an.
Now I'll say this: White Boy, he had a pretty substantial channel before Candace and them even came around him. I would venture to say that at the point in kind of what White Boy had going on, bringing Don and Candace around wasn't just this spectacular boost of anything, right? At all, right? People have watched them do this. If anything, I would be guessing they probably got a fair number of warnings, like, hey, Matt, like, watch out for these two. They're going to F you over in the end. And I would, you know, I don't want to feel or think for Matt, but I'm guessing, right, that the standard rate is that he knew that they would at some point, right? That's their track record.
Idiot. Like the son of a bitch bragged about putting his arm around Don Wells. Who the fuck? I'm going to throw up. Oh, who the fuck does that? Simple, Candace. And if you and Don have split, my condolences go out to you. I didn't know exactly what happened. I heard about it. I didn't. I'm not trying to.
Now, he gets into that because she made it very clear, right? She made it very clear on a community post that they were, in fact, split. Now, you can infer from here that it's split, but things spilled. Hey, Deborah, things spilled from all corners of the community because that's just the way the community is. It spilled from all over that she had moved down to Georgia where potentially Grandis is at, right? Grandis having the camper trailer, so on and so forth, right? So this was 2 weeks ago. This is 14 days ago. She done left the hill, right? She done went down to Georgia. The devil went down to Georgia. But now you're going to hear something very interesting. And if you did watch, and I would ask if you didn't after this one, go watch the one I did before. It's in the pre-recorded videos. The title is Don and Candace, What's Actually Happening, my take.
Run into it. I'm not going to try to get into it or nothing like that. You know, I believe people, you know, their private lives are their private life. And I've heard that you were in the area when Summer came up missing. So what up with that? No, well, I was doing a predator hunt over in what was that? Newport Park. I never knew you, Candace. Hell, ain't had no reason to take your damn girl.
Now, Candace has literally blamed, well, not literally, but Candace has actually blamed dozens of people. Anytime Candace is mad at someone, and typically it's going to be a figurehead content creator, she's going to get mad or get in her feelings, and she's going to say that right there. That's standard issue. Well, I've heard that you were in the area when Summer came up missing too. What up with that? Right? Now, if you listen to the what up with that, it's as if she's adopted that belief as her own. Hooah. Now, down here, bam, there's the first money shot. Me and Donnie are still together. If you're still together, then what the heck is this? What the heck is the GoFundMe? Right? What the heck is it? Or maybe the more important question is what isn't it? Because if it isn't anything, then it's everything, right? Yes, TOG. So she's I don't know if she's 3 sheets to the wind, but she's confirming they're still together, which is what my hypothesis was in my video I did 3-4 days ago. Right? That they're not apart and that this is a money grab, or it's at least like we don't have a problem asking for money anymore because we've done it so many dang times that let's go ahead and ask for money. It's not even that embarrassment feeling where you know your face is turning red, even through the computer. You're like, oh man, I don't really want to do this, but I really need help. Bam, they're still together. There's that. Right? So it's fueled and filled with deception.
No way in hell. Damn. You and Donnie are still together? That's good. That's good. I've heard.
Creatively inspired. Right there. They're still together. They're still together.
lot of lies in, I guess. And a lot of people said you split up and you went out to Georgia.
I mean, she's probably not. Let's keep it real, people. Is she asking for? Is she grifting for money to start a new life with Don? Probably not, right? I mean, there was a point in time where we knew when he was drywalling for the local company there in Kingsport, that based upon what he said he made close to $80,000 a year. A year. And that's year-round work. It's indoors. It's not as if he's outpouring concrete and as soon as the weather turns to crap, he's forced to take unemployment. No, Don can work 52 weeks a year, right? 52 weeks a year.
Yeah. And down toward Dothan or something. I mean, not Dothan, but it doesn't even matter. That's Alabama. What the hell am I talking about? Dalton, down toward Dalton. That's it. I don't care. I used to let her have panel and everything. I'm not going to.
So she just said right there, I didn't say you did, but other people have said that. Now she's back referring to what I right here, the what up with that, where I said she's adopted. It looks as if she's adopted the whole idea of, well, I've heard that you were in the area, right? When Summer came up missing. What's up with that? Now she's down here saying, I didn't say that, but other people have said that, right? I mean, if you ask Tina at Predator Hunter Nation, she also whipped up some crazy idea that I had something to do with it and that I put a child in a dog cage and threw them into a lake, right? But then she's going to say she was told by someone that no one can reach and that isn't on YouTube and who knows where they are, right? So, and then that very person was involved in much deceit, right? So you got to really pay attention to what she's saying. And I don't know which side of the fence you're on. I don't know if you're one that believes that she's not saying what she means, or if she's not meaning what she says, or if it's right in the middle where you're saying, okay, she's saying exactly what she means to say. But this sort of takes on this one here. It takes on sort of a backing up, like a non-confrontational overtone. Hey, looking
I'm not
beyond.
going to extort her or nothing and try to exploit her or anything like that. I damn sure don't want no money. So I didn't say you did, but other people said that. Well,
Thank you, Buttercup.
Candace, here's the thing. I'm going to be straight out honest with you, just like I have with everybody else. There's times you've said more than anybody, and then there's times you keep quiet.
Thank you, Amber.
There's two different sides, Candace. I mean, I can't say that this happened, that happened. I mean, I don't know. I ain't no damn FBI guy or TBI guy. I ain't got the resources I need for any of that shit. But I did.
Now, she's going to go on to say that she wished she knew where her daughter was. Although I think some portions of maybe every day, but at least some portions of some days, I believe that to be a fact. However, being that the boys were thrust into the situation they were, and that those two never, let's go through the components we know that they had to meet in order to receive the boys back in the 6-month program. But we also understand they were given far much more time. I was speaking with a friend before the stream, and I think, please correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't want to put out any misinformation. I think they were given up to 18 months almost. Like it went on, and on and on. Now let's talk about some of the components that they had to meet in order to suffice the checklist they were given by social services, right? It was exposed electrical wire. It was biological issues, which referred to their plumbing system. I won't go into that. If anyone has listened to me talk about their bathroom, then you know what I mean. Their pest issue, right? Both of them had to enter into a 28-day inpatient program and all the things that entails, substance abuse evaluations, mental illness evaluations, and then staying in some sort of support group for however long they say, right? And pass random and scheduled drug tests. Hoo-ah.
I did hear a lot of crazy shit.
So let me finish my point. I'm a little jaded about her saying she wished she knew where her daughter was. Where are your boys? You've had your parental rights terminated. So it's probably fair to say you have no idea where your boys are. In fact, there's one boy still outstanding, and they're advertising him like a puppy at an ASPCA or whatever, at the pound, right? They're advertising someone to come get this boy because you two failed to meet the mark. Let's just keep it real. I don't want to tiptoe around a situation.
No. So let me ask you a question.
Yeah, Ruby, I don't know if they ever made one child support payment. That was one of the other components. Thank you. They both were ordered to pay X amount of child support.
I wish I knew where my daughter is. That's a placement. You know that, right? When you say is, it's a placement, Candace. Be careful with that.
Now, the one thing that we know is so wide and far, and they acknowledge that now due to the first WJHL presser that they did with the Wells, that Don referred to her in the past tense, right? Now, one could surmise or theorize rather that because Candace is not referring to Summer in the past tense, she's referring to her in the present tense, right? As if she's still living, right? Now, with as shady as the two of them have showed their hands to be, does that mean, and I'm just going to lay it out each way, is it just an organic, I wish I knew where my daughter is? I mean, it's grammatically incorrect, right? Or is that her saying potentially more, right? And I just kind of leave it at that. Is she saying more by saying this?
So let me ask you a question, Candace. Just answer it in chat. You don't have to.
Looking beyond. Lightning Tiger is Mr. Ernie's show.
Come up on panel. Hell, you can just stay in chat. Let me ask you a question. What's up with let me ask you a question.
Correct, Carrie. Candace had made a statement that this was the happiest they have ever been without kids. That's a sad testament.
Just a simple yes or no, Candace. You don't have to take long to think about it. Just real quick, a lot. So what's up with what's been said about people in the field about Don Wells having, about Donnie, Don having Summer down in Knoxville at those hotels? Are there any truth?
Now, if you remember, there was a point in time where Don focused on the Clouds apartments, these different hotels. For any, again, of the OGs, you're going to remember where Don talked about being in hotels where he actually saw children being sold, right? Elizabeth Smart, who was abducted and kept by their abductor up in Salt Lake City, Utah. Donald Wells actually stated on a live stream, I believe it was with me, that he had given change to the abductor of Elizabeth Smart, not once, but twice. Right? Don doesn't know his elbow from his knee bone most of the time, but some kind of way he can remember when he gave money, pocket change, to a kidnapper in Salt Lake City twice. Yes, Amber, twice. He remembers giving change to, and I'm not going to say his name, giving change to Elizabeth Smart's abductor twice. Moving forward.
Proof to that, Candace, or do you even know? Just a yes or no, or I don't know. You can do those three answers. Yes, no, I don't know. There you go. Simple.
I'm not even going to try and make sense of that. It's or was, whatever you want to say it. I no, can't make hide in her tail.
Don't take long to say yes, no, or I don't know. No. Because I talked to people who
Leslie Oakley
said that That's bullshit. He never did. So he never took Summer down to Knoxville, Tennessee. Never ever took her to Knoxville, Tennessee.
I started for
Some hotels that just got busted by, agents a few months ago, some shit like that.
Now, not only, and I don't want to go off on the Andy B thing because I was sent a lot of different comments Andy B made during the course of me being gone. It was really easy for people to say things that weren't true or just outright lie when I wasn't around, evidently. But if anyone remembers, Andy B said someone he knew from the hollers came up to the tire shop, right, in a van, needed a tire patch, whatever, new tire. In the back, the guy he knew brings him around the back of the van, and in the back he opens it up, and there's girls in there doing drugs, and he asked, if basically shorthand speech, do you want to buy one of these girls? Whoa.
But they can verify it. Well, I mean, again, it could be, propaganda, shit like that. No, sir, never. Okay, Candace, now once before you told me that he never took showers with her either, but that turned out to be, not really true. Because remember?
Now, what's interesting about this comment where she says Donald never gave Summer a shower. It's BS. He never did. No, sir, never. Right? Understanding, if you don't know, then I'm going to tell you, Don and Candace had nothing but a prefabricated stand-up shower in their house. Right? Now, I don't know why Don and Candace have been so adamant about never having Don had given her a shower, right? If you're a father and you're organically a good dad, there are 100,000 or maybe 1 million different reasons why a dad may be forced to give his own daughter a shower. Right now, I think that Don and Candace look at it in terms of, and I'm only just trying to dig into it, and we'll go lightly. But Don and Candace sort of, I think they're throwing out the idea to the general constituency, if you will, that they don't want anyone to think that Don ever gave her a shower. A, because of the stuff that happened with Mary and Jeannie, right, his stepsisters, and then also the ideal that Don. They don't want you to think that Summer just stood on the bottom of the shower at groin level and Don gave her a shower. Men in here and women in here also both know that when a dad gives a daughter a shower, he's going to be holding her, he's going to wash her, he's going to spin her around, and then he's going to say, hey, Mom, come get her, and Mom's going to grab her with a towel. It is perfectly normal for a dad to give his daughter a shower. It is perfectly normal for a dad to change his daughter's diaper and even apply cream if she's irritated, right? So the fact that both of them have been so absolutely dead set on the fact that they want the public to believe Don never gave Summer a shower. Well, what's obviously asinine about that is that they would want you to think that Don never gave the little girl a shower, so instead he let this little country girl who didn't wear shoes nowhere stay filthy in the house until her mother got home. And we are all super aware of Candace's hygiene regimen, right? It's not like, come on. And I don't want to go deep into that, but here we go. Hey, Tina.
And, like I said, to me, I guess the different cultures, I mean, it could go into explanation about different things, but.
So it's, no, he never gave her a shower, but if I was never there, he just neglected the little girl's hygiene. Okay. Because that sounds way better. That definitely doesn't sound like you're hiding anything whatsoever, right? Like the very normalized, even if, let's say hypothetically, Don had or was doing something that he should not have been doing, the normalized answer is yes, Don gave her showers as much as I gave her showers. That's the thing you have to, in order to pat. Yeah. Sarah, in order to pass by the red flags, you have to answer that question by saying, yeah, Don gave her showers. So what? Right?
You know, Jay, do you know Candace? I don't think she knows you, Jay. But anyways, Candace, I ain't trying to put you on the spot. I don't want this to be about that. That shit, it's water under the bridge.
Now what you're seeing is the upward motion. This is motion. Now he's going to start building her up. He's giving her leeway. He's giving her slack on the rope, right? He's letting loose of the reins a little bit. He's going to let this horse run, right? What about single dads? The kid doesn't take a shower at all when they're with the right, Raylan. 1,000,000%, right? Like that is automatically against the law. It's so taboo that little girls that are single, living in a single dad household for whatever multitude of reasons, cannot be bathed. Okay, fair enough, right?
Anyways, Candace, I ain't trying to.
Oh, like I was saying, it is now the beginning start of the upward trend in the V I told you about, right? You're starting horizontal to the top of both V's. It's going to go down. He's tearing her down. He's bringing her down to the bottom. And then he's going to build her back up. And then at the top of the V, he's going to cut her loose.
Put you on the spot. I don't want this to be about that. That shit, it's water under the bridge, and there's nothing really to be said or done about it. But it's just there's a lot of things, we both agree to disagree on Candace and everything. But like I disagree on the timeline, Candace. I just can't get my head around the timeline and what may or may not have taken place. Again, there's a couple of different things that goes on with it, but I do think I found your favorite fishing spot there, Candace.
Now, if any of you remember when Don was in jail, Candace went down and visited Ernie at the hemp cafe owned by Holistic Empire. We'll just call her that. I don't want any privacy issues on this one. So she went down, met with Ernie, met with that lady that owns that. And then I don't recall if Ernie went with her to buy worms to fish, or if I know that he gave her money and a phone because she had neither. She goes and gets worms, and then she goes to her favorite fishing spot. And there was a picture taken where a lot of people thought, okay, Zambi, thanks for joining us. Where a lot of people thought she was holding a shotgun or some sort of rifle, right? Does anybody remember that? That was allegedly that picture was allegedly referred to as her at her favorite fishing spot.
Yes, I did find. I believe I found your favorite fishing spot. I believe I did find your favorite fishing spot. I looked over blueprint.
Good. You remember. Okay, so either way, bath or shower dads can wash their child. Absolutely.
It's maps, geographical stuff. I was thinking to myself, there was a.
And he's putting pressure on this fishing spot, right? Now, Ernie has said in the past things about this fishing spot. I'm not going to delve deep into that. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. But her response to him knowing where her fishing spot is going to be very interesting.
Noise in the background. And I was like, I gotta zoom in. I gotta hear more about that. What does that matter? Donnie took a shower with the boys, but Summer would take one with me.
Now, if you caught what he said there was noise at the fishing spot. Right? There's noise. Potentially it sounded like a turbine, like a big wind turbine. I don't know how large. However, that is sort of the detail that I feel like prompts her answer. I could be completely wrong.
Well, Donnie took showers of every one of them. Okay, well, but he admitted that he took showers with.
Where she say that?
That's what I'm saying. I don't want to get into it, Candace. We already know. I just don't want to, I don't want to go back and beat that damn dead horse again over and over and over and over. I will say,
yeah, really. You're absolutely right. Now, here is her commentary to the fishing spot. You will never find my fishing spot. Also, not what you would expect to be the normalized answer to that question either. Now, I don't feel like she's pre-calculating and preloading these responses just to be abrasive. Like, that's just her outright saying, you'll never find my fishing spot. Well, if you had nothing to hide in a fishing spot, theoretically, you'd offer the fishing spot to anybody, right? If you had nothing to hide, right? If you're sparring with Mr. Shell here, the answer I would come up with is, don't think about where the fishing spot is anymore. I'll just tell you where the spot is, right? Not hide it more, right? Moving forward.
People admitted it, and again, it's not really that you will never find my fishing spot. I got your fishing spot, Candace. I'm 100% sure I know where your fishing spot's at. I'll tell you how. Oh my God, I'm broken up right now. I'm getting older, Candace. Can't do much because of Rick. Oh God, hurting.
Now, this is also an interesting comment. She says, Donnie said what he says. That's her creating distance between her and Donnie. Now, if you remember the 7 alibis, right? The 7 alibis, Starlink, so on and so forth, right? He said, I've got 7 alibis. Candace doesn't have none or any or whatever. However, he referred to 0 alibis. Do you remember that? Rocket Queen, that's a good question too. Thank you, Modern Man. Donnie said he had 7 alibis and that she had no. Hey, Danielle, I hope you're doing good. I hope you're doing real good. Danielle is a friend from way back, the very first case. She lives very local to the situation with Orrin and Orson Welles. She was sort of, I hate the term, but boots on the ground in that area. She knew a lot of the creators or knows them now that we're going through. This was in Cal City, right? So Don said, I have 7 alibis. Candace doesn't have none. That's him creating distance between him and her. Now you've got her creating distance between her and him, just the same way. That's not a nonchalant comment, right? That's not the comment of someone that doesn't, rather, that is the comment of someone that probably doesn't understand that if Donnie is guilty of something, theoretically, that she'd be his co-defendant probably, right? Like, there is no creating distance. You two are in it for the long haul together forever.
But I will say this. Donnie says what he says. Well, it's water under the bridge.
He's just letting her talk. It's masterful class, really, he's putting on, right? Like, because he's actually gotten her to say a whole lot without really saying anything to her. He has really, the only thing he's said to her is about the showering and the fishing spot. And she's just going to keep talking and talking and talking.
Okay, so see, a lot of people messed up when they was talking about your fishing spot, Candace. Your fishing spot, the way I took it, it has to have a meaning to you. That's why you took over a fishing spot like that.
He's right. Has to have a fairly significant meaning if she's willing to not tell anyone where it's at. Now, I'm not here to tell you that she has never told anyone, right? But if you understand that when she went there, she had a phone that he gave her that she subsequently threw in a lake. So what does that mean? What that means is that at that time when she went to that fishing spot, there's no digital GPS information associated to that trip. Whereas the 15th of June, there was definitely digital GPS information associated to where Don came and left from, where Candace came and left from, right? And in fact, there were people that came out afterwards who law enforcement had checked, was going through the pings, right, of whose phone pinged in that area at what time during that afternoon or that early evening or that morning. And they reached out and went and visited the people who were pinged in that area later on, right? So she's going to a fishing spot. He's given her a phone because she does not have one, she says, right? She ends up throwing the phone in the water, being untrackable. Why did she throw the phone in the water? Well, her response to it is that she thought that Mr. Shell was tracking her via the phone. I don't know anything about that, but what I do know is that anyone that's got a child missing and been immersed in this as much as they have, they understand what they need to say now to look the part, and they know what they need not have in order to not be tied to something yet even tighter, right?
But you used to have another spot, Candace, that you favored a little bit. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm going a little bit too far, but I thought you had like.
She has several fishing spots.
Motherfucker, that's cops. Hold on a second, guys. Hold on a second.
Danielle, I probably wouldn't take a phone from a soul if I was the subject of a crazy investigation that has feds, EquiSearch, TBI, local. I mean, there was 100 or so organizations involved in the search for this little girl. I probably wouldn't carry anything that would tie me back to going anywhere I wouldn't want someone to know. Right? I think that there's probably agreeably several reasons why she wouldn't want that phone at that time. Correct? Yes, Zambi. Let's fast forward a little bit.
Sorry about that. So I know you have several fishing spots, but you have one favorite fishing spot that you go and you load your mind on, when you're down and out and you need I won't say friend, but you need a place. See, I've got a place like that. Hell, I think it's going to be my new spot. It's in the hood, right in the middle. God knows why I've done this, but I didn't know I was.
Now, I must have skipped over it or it hasn't come yet. This comment right here where Ken says, wow, I didn't know I was in Virginia. Ernie has made a comment or is going to make a comment about him having information about Candace and Don being in Virginia together, right? Now, again, taking it at face value and for what it's worth, right? Is she saying what she means or is she meaning what she says? Who knows? But it's going to be an interesting little piece of dialogue here, right? You can see Angel Eyes say you and Don in a blue truck, right?
In Virginia. I never said you was in Virginia. I never said anything about Virginia. I heard you was in like Dalton, Georgia or something, or close to it. I mean, I used to think people would try to get you at you and everything.
All right, Carrie, thanks so much.
Now, you was in Gate City, Virginia a few weeks ago camping out, though. You and Don was. I don't know if it's a few weeks ago, maybe a couple months ago or something. I heard about it. I didn't know if it's actually, I'm not trying to follow you or nothing. Somebody, Don, there's a lot of people, and I don't agree on that. I don't agree on that at all, Candace. But they do say,
Schmoopy says here, she pretended she was in Texas a few days ago, always playing the games and lying. I don't know anything about that. That is brand new to me. In fact, I didn't catch that when I was reviewing this. I don't know that to be a fact. However, there was a point in time where she was friends with a couple of YouTubers that were connected to Molly Golightly, and she was going to come down here. And because of some of the activities that those two YouTubers were a part of, I told her, I said, hey, I don't think it's a good idea for you to close down shop and come to Texas and then get involved in, everyday party time, right? It's not time to party. You've been partying this whole time, right? You could party right at your house where you've been partying. And then you could be there in the event that if your daughter walked back up to that front door, you would be there to get her, right? So I know that there's been talk about Texas in the past. I didn't know about that. Raylan.
Angel Eyes was saying that. What do you mean Angel Eyes was saying that? What do you think Angel Eyes say that for? Did you see Angel Eyes? Angel Eyes is a good girl.
Now, I can tell you this schmoopy person, whoever that is, I've seen them kind of around. You know, they go to different communities and they come back to true crime, so on and so forth. Schmoopy, I'm not saying that they are the I'm not saying that they are where the buck stops necessarily when it comes to information. However, they go around and they make very intelligent conversation in the chat logs, right? So Raylan, me either. TOG, I don't know. I would assume that if she says they're still together, that they're on the hill, you know, because their lifestyles don't really afford them the option of being somewhere they have to pay rent or another mortgage, right? That place is paid for. So all they pay is taxes and electricity. They get their own water. They got their own sewer. So it's relatively very cheap for them. So they have an excess of money to where they can, you know, party it up.
Angel Eyes the best person out there. You probably had fun. You camped out on her property, so you probably had fun.
Exploited. Thank you.
You went to a job. Oh, okay.
Now, this is where I was saying a minute or two ago about, is she saying what she means and meaning what she says? Right? She says, we weren't camping out. We went to job. Is that her agreeing that Ernie's right? She was in Virginia? Or is that her saying we weren't in Virginia at all? We were at a job. That's even suggesting that she knows, or she thinks that Ernie knows exactly what day they went to the job, right? Does that make sense? Yes, ma'am. Which one is it? Raylan. Yeah. We weren't in Virginia camping out. We went to a job. Right? So it's almost as if she's corroborating what Mr. Shell is saying. Like they're both in the know about the same, like the same day or the same week or the same weekend. Right? I don't know. You be the judge, right? Look at it objectively and, you know, work out the angles. And what did she say? What did she mean?
You probably had fun. You camped out on her property, so you probably had fun. You went to a job. Oh, okay. Well, that's good. What kind of work was you doing? Was you just like, I don't even want to know. You know, I ain't none of my business. It ain't none of my business.
Which is also kind of masterful, right? For him to say, well, what kind of job? Well, never mind. I don't want to know. That's preempting. Candace is chest deep in it now, knowing that if he says, well, I don't know, it's none of my business, she's immediately going to tell him what kind of job, right? Think about it. This is not a very hard book to read here.
You had a tent or something, didn't you? What the fuck? Oh, God.
Drywall. Duh. There it is. But he doesn't want to know. Oh, but no, I'm going to tell you anyways, right? Moving forward.
But look, here's the thing, Candace. Let's get back. Drywall. Oh, that's cool. That's freaking cool.
No tent. Is that her saying they weren't in a tent on a campground where Ernie knows someone that gave him information about them being there? Right? Or is that saying we were in Virginia, but we weren't in a tent, right? We were anywhere else but a tent. I don't know.
You helping do drywall too? That's pretty good. I mean, something I never got into. That's why. So did you do drywall now? That's a good trade to get into. It really is. Yes, I do too. I hope and pray that Summer Wells is found. Well, that's cool. That's really cool. Candace, let me ask you a question. Why the hell are you a moderator for Andrew Hills? I mean, you like the show, I guess. Hell, I don't understand it.
Hey, Griff.
Didn't the guy want fake tits or some shit? I don't even know. I mean,
Griff, I don't know if you caught any of this or you're just coming in now. Ernie actually did a pretty good job on this portion of it. I'm not sure if you are up to speed with everything, but this is the second night in a row Candace has joined his chat log. So
who knows? I mean, maybe I'm in the wrong. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. But like, didn't a guy want fake tits or some shit? I don't even know. I mean, who knows? I mean, maybe I'm in the wrong. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. But like, here, let me show you something. Hold on a second. Just use it. Don't be so. So you gotta see, in order for the past to work.
So he makes her a moderator. And what we skipped was the portion of commentary about Andrew Hiltz. And then she's saying, don't be rude to them over at Andrew's spot.
You got to let it. You just got to let it play out, you know. You got to start somewhere. And I think you would do a hell of a job. Don't mind from your feelings, though. And don't be knocking nobody in the damn head with no wrench. I know how you like to swing wrenches. Don't be. You can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit up. I give up. But Candace, when you look, don't be knocking nobody in the damn head. That's all I ask you to do. I know you like to swing that wrench. Just use it in a way that you think you should use it. Maybe timeout or something like that. You don't have to put them in a 1,000-second timeout or nothing. But I gave you a wrench. Only on people that need it. That's exactly right, girl. That's exactly right. Now I don't want you going wild now. We don't need no damn Candace Wells in here swinging damn wrenches. Everybody be scared to death come in here. I'm trying to grow my damn channel. Nah, I think you'll do good. I think you're going to do really, really well. And again, it ain't none of my business about the Andrew Hilt stuff, you know.
Okay. She says, wow. I just got a message from someone. Well, let me tell you what. I've gotten messages since I've been on this stream, and I didn't feel the need to alert any of you, right? Put in the chat who you think messaged her. I'm going to give you about 30 seconds. Put in the chat who you think messaged her. Case K, thank you very much. Miss Deborah, thank you for your contribution to the channel. It means the world to us. Very, 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 very much. Miss Shuri, thank you for your contribution to the channel. So very much. It means the world to me. It really does. Thank you so much to the both of you. It means a lot. Give you about 15 more seconds. Thank you so much, ladies. It does. It means the absolute world to me. Okay, everybody, remember your answer. Here we go.
You just got a message from someone. Oh, my God. I'll give the chat 3 guesses. Who did Candace get? It's white boy. White boy, get over there. There's his wife or somebody, right? Man, she talking about her sex life the other night. I had to watch that shit. I was cracking up. She talking. I give up. I can't do this. I can sit here and do a New York City con. Let me get to Manhattan, and I tell you what, I'll do the biggest, best roast you've ever seen in your life on them. I'm telling you.
Remember your answers.
She unlocked reality. Candace, look, might as well. Hell, I think she's going to do good. I think she's going to do really good. So, who messaged you?
It's on the way.
I'm thinking it's white boy probably messaged or trying to get at you. Well, actually, he's got no connection, right? Which is all right. I mean, hell. So, my hand slipped on that one. I didn't mean that Ernie said it or whatever, but I hope you don't mind, Ernie, for letting me put
on the way.
that post on.
Thank you, Case.
I don't know. No, you're good. You're good, Jay. I don't know who you are. I think I do, but I don't. I mean, I'm fixing to go to bed. Hopefully, y'all are.
Right here. You nailed the head. White boy. Now, let me tell you this. I've been in the same position Matt was in at that time with them over and over and over. When they come up and they tell things they probably shouldn't tell to the internet, but probably should have or maybe did tell to law enforcement, right? He's trying to stop the hemorrhage, right? He's trying to stop the bleeding is what he's trying to do. I get it. Raylan, yes. Like, let him talk, right? So I get it, right? I don't feel like he's trying to block Ernie Shell in any way. Like, he doesn't care about that. He's worried about Candace already having had said too much. Does that make sense? Now, meanwhile, you can't ignore the fact that Ernie is sort of he's leading this thing by a rope, right? He's leading her by the neck, right?
We're doing well. That's good. That's good, Candace. So let me ask you a question. Did you all leave the hill? Are you still in Tennessee? I mean, you still up on the hill? Because I heard like 3 or 4 different things. But did you leave? I mean, did you find another place or? You nailed it.
Bam. Still on the hill. Still on the hill, but we're scamming like a mofo, right? We need that PayPal money. We need that Cash App money, right? We need checks, cashiers. Hey, you can pay it to me in quarters because all money spends, right? Star, you ain't, and I'm not even making light of the situation. You're right. It's got her talking. Only if you want to help me start again. Ooh-wee. But even that was edited. I don't know if any of you remember years ago, maybe 10 years ago, if you edited a comment, it would still show the edit, right? It'd show the one before and then the updated, right? Too bad it's not still that way, right?
Yeah.
So still on the hill, scamming the YouTube community for money. I mean, because if you're still on the hill and you haven't started a new life, it's a scam. Bona fide scam, right? I mean, probably right on the edge of being illegal. Yeah, Grubby Goat. I mean, that's what. So it's a few different angles in the range of how you would question somebody to get information, right? I think two of the main components are ask questions you already know the answer to, and ask the same questions over and over, just word them differently. So they sound like brand new questions, but the meat and the potatoes will still draw out a consistent answer if one is telling the truth, right? If they that's the two components, I would say.
Oh,
Hey,
God.
Donna L.
Oh, yeah, white boy. Oh, white boy's screaming right now. Oh, he's done. We still on the hill? Good deal. That's awesome. And you've got security cameras now, right? You do have security cameras, right? Have all that stuff. You got everything you need.
I doubt it. I highly doubt it. And I want to touch on this before we go any further. A lot of people misconstrued and completely mutilated the context of when I said, I put there in the intro, I'm on a ladder with a thumbs up. I had just installed IP Wi-Fi security cameras. That one looked down this way up the driveway and the other one looked, because it's a horseshoe driveway, right? One looked down one side, one looked down the other, right? Don and Candace wanted no part. It was Tim Mullins that suggested it. And in fact, guess what? The great people of this community paid almost $300 for those cameras and the box that goes inside, right? I could not get either one of them off of their phone and out of the house in order to use their phone to put the app on to initialize the system. So what I did was I initialized the system from my phone, went inside, transferred the information from my phone to their phone, got it working on both phones, wrote down, and actually Tim Mullins at that point stepped in, and they went in and they made we had made an email strictly for the account. Then they went in and changed the password. So the password was not the one I created. The one I created was Summer Wells 2020 or 2021, whatever it was, right? They went in and made their own passcode or their own password for it. I had no access to the password. It was all to them. They wrote it in a book. So people took that context and they butchered it. They butchered it all the way down. And then because it was butchered, they spread all the different contexts all over the place. But they never turned the cameras on. Don turned the cameras off. And the only reasoning I would guess that you wouldn't want the cameras going is for some other nefarious reason. Why would you not want to see if other YouTubers were coming on your property, or know when the police were coming, or, any number of things that the camera and the DVR system could have captured? Why would you not want that on film? It has to be for a more nefarious reason. My opinion only.
Well, I appreciate Candace.
Allegedly, Cindy, Jody Sue claims that she went over a short period before Summer went missing, and that Don was in the shower and asked for a towel for Summer. Then you'll have, I don't know if it was Fred or Andy. I think it was Andy, said that he saw through the window Don in the shower with the girl. However, if you've ever seen the house and you know where the window is in the front of the house to the right, and it's like 12, 14, 15 feet off the ground. You'd have to be way over here with binoculars in order to be level enough to horizontally look through that window. You can't just stand at the bottom of the window and look up. All you're going to see is just a fraction of the ceiling, right? So Andy B is full of it, right?
You still got my messages and Messenger. That's good. That's the best thing for you. Be safe. Use those. Don't get pulled into no bullshit no more, okay? Don't matter. Oh, come over. I don't care. Just let it go. Let it flow. Just don't get pulled up that shit. You don't need that shit. You don't need that at all.
You know what's interesting is that I feel like any outreach, heartfelt outreach from the general public to Don and Candace ought to be met with some sort of thanks, right? Here's this person trying to get her attention about a song that they made for summer. She has not even engaged this person one time. Not one time. No thank you. No, I appreciate it. No, oh, I can't wait to hear it. Just blank. Nothing. It's about par for course, I would guess.
People want to use you like crazy, Candace. Don't do that shit. You do have my message. You got to read your other messages. Go to your
act right. So many different things. Seeing the way that the little girl was forced to live. In fact, Miss Robin, the lady from the church, she was there the second or third day I was there, and she was downstairs cleaning the room, trying to get it in order to meet the specifications of social services. And when you walk down those stairs and you take that right and you make the U-turn and go back into this little alcove that had a bunk bed. And there, it was just the floor. You could tell where the water come through the walls. The bed and the mattress were absolutely hideous. You know, that was one thing. Every toy they had was just half broken and worn out. The dish cleaning process, there was just so many things, right? And then there was the whole thing where Don took off. He got drunk, took off, went to Knoxville on a bender and, you know, was visiting ladies of the night and then came back. I had actually left the next morning after he took off and wouldn't answer his phone. I said, well, that's it. I'm gone. I got about 5 hours away, I think outside of Memphis somewhere. And I had to stop and pull over because, you know, I'd just been going at it. And I went to bed. And the next morning, Donnie's calling me like, Benny, please, bro, please come back. So I made the 5-hour trip back, right? I kind of used the situation to leverage Don back, right? Then when I get there, he's completely strung out. Tell him to get in the shower. He's ready to go to rehab, right? He gets out of the shower. Me and Chris, the PI, and Candace, we all go to Wendy's, right? We have a quick dinner. And then Don jumps in the truck with Chris, and Candace and I follow them to the rehab. Chris pulls up to the rehab. Donnie gets out. I park, and then me and Candace go in with Don. We're in there for a good hour waiting for him to go into intake, and he realizes that it's a tobacco-free campus where he's going. So he's like, F that. He gets loud and then storms and slams his way out of the door and back to the car, right? No rehab to get the boys back because he can't smoke cigarettes while he's there. Fair enough, right?
Messenger. Go to your messenger, go to other messages and read that message. I don't even know. I think I sent, except a friend request, and you might be able to see it. Hell, I don't even know. I don't know about it. I'm never even on Facebook.
Milo, what's up, baby?
I don't even know. I sent you a message. I think I sent you a message. Yeah, I sent you a message, but you probably got a friend.
Wrap this up.
So you got to go to other messages or something and look at them from there.
Rocket, absolutely.
And yeah, look, here's something else too, Candace, if you need anything, look.
Danielle, you're absolutely 1,000%.
Here's my deal. Here, this is a number you can reach me at, 870.
Be real. Now, let me retract saying it was a smoke-free campus. He was under the belief he couldn't smoke. You're right. I don't think it was necessarily a full, because when we pulled in, there was like a fence and you could see a number of people smoking on the right through a fence. We went to the left. So I don't know if it was going to be smoke free for him the whole 28 days, or if it was just smoke free until his intake was over and he saw the doctor. And as I'm jogging my memory, that's what it was that he was already strung out and coming down, and they wanted him to see a doctor. His blood pressure was elevated, and they were like, yeah, you can't have a cigarette to affect the blood pressure anymore until we see a doctor, right? After the doctor, then you can go ahead and you can smoke. That's the way it went.
521-5787. Text me before you call. That way we have 2 steps verification. I don't just answer calls because, I mean, we putting it out there.
Yeah.
People just call.
Absolutely.
Text me and get up at me, and I don't care. I'm not going to try to exploit you or just get in there because it's like beating a dead horse, and it's not even worth it anymore. But I will say this: I'm glad you found out that certain people are not your friends.
Thank you so much.
And they are exploiting the shit out of you right now. And let me ask you, Candace, because you're not stupid. You're not stupid by no means.
I think that this is a good point. And I'm going to go ahead and listen to the rest of it while I saw some logs. But I just, I was already laying down and I was watching this and I was like, oh boy, great. Like you want to ride a motorcycle and it's about to rain, right? It's one of them things. Like I'm ready to go to bed, but then this happened. So I wanted to catch it as quickly as I could and really just kind of get it documented. So I do believe that this was about the place where I stopped listening to it. Where we at here? Yeah, it was. We can go a little bit further just to see if there's any more information. But I don't want to bury or overwhelm people when they come looking at the live. Like, oh God, look at this. Where we at here? 1:30. I don't want to bury the information, so to speak. So let's listen to a little bit more, and then we'll probably shut it down.
I'll holler at you here in a second. Actually, hold on a minute. Hold on. Think about this question right here. What was it that actually White Boy did that you actually seen that he was playing your ass? Like, what was the straw that actually broke the camel's back? And
I don't know at all. I'm guessing is that White Boy had boundaries and restrictions and things that he was not going to allow them to do to them. That's sort of the ongoing issue with these two is that they have zero boundaries and they just assume that the rest of the world has no boundaries either. And then as soon as you set a boundary, there's a fallout and then this, woe me victimhood stuff.
Was it something that you just caught on? He was like, I know it's about money. It's probably about money and shit. It's probably about, so look, my finger slid again. Sorry about that. Damn fingers.
I do want to point out here that Terry and somebody, they both want to hear the song that Candace doesn't give a crap about. Right? It's so very interesting. Like it's like, why would you not want to hear the song? I don't know if it's AI or if this person is talented and wrote, played and recorded the music. I have no idea. It doesn't matter. It's a loving, giving gesture, right? Kelly, for sure. What's up, Kelly? Oh, what's up, baby? Classic narcissism. Like, it's all about her, right? Like, people like that, they don't love anyone as much as they love themselves, right?
I don't have no fingerprints anymore. Okay. Anyways, I'm going to message you to make sure I've got the right can. I better have the right cans. Hold on a second.
Yeah, that irks me, right? That really irks me, Regina, good on you for that. Yeah, Griff, like she won't even acknowledge that this person has said over and over and over, pretty much for the course of Candace being there, she doesn't care at all. Like, I want to hear it, but I'm not going to play it on here because I don't want any copyright issues, but come on. It's got to be better than that. Star, you're exactly right. Here comes the answer to the question. What did White Boy do? And allegedly in Candace's opinion because he was always about their self. Always about their self. I don't believe that to be true. They spent their own resources to go out there and meet with these folks, right? They've continued to support them, even in the face of all the drama that you know that the Wells bring. You know, you people have no idea. There's going to be some people in this chat log that understand. Casey, Kelly, right? There's a few people in here that are going to actually understand how impossible it was to deal with them, right? You can deal with them for only so long until they wear all your edge off. A square becomes a circle messing with them. There's just no way. You cannot deal with them. And I'm going to say, we're going to close up here. The reason why I couldn't take anymore was because of the abuse, right? There was a whole infrastructure of private investigators, media managers, right? I mean, there was just the gauntlet of people from the church, all of these people who would know, because it's a round robin, right? As soon as he hit on her, everyone in the group knew, but no one would call the police for her. No one would alert the police that he had battered her, right? And I just couldn't, that was the main thing. And then when Don went to jail, he left Tim Mullins, and you guys remember the recordings. Man, I just knew that when he started in with his BS, when I'm questioning him about Don's phone, right? So he had Don's phone for 2 weeks after Don went to jail. Candace had to actually bug him over and over and over to return the phone. When he did return the phone, it was in a plastic bag, like the police might do, right? The reason, and so I quizzed him. I'm like, so what's up with the phone, right? Well, I gave it back to Candace. Well, why would you do that? Because we know the statistics, 90% or higher, the parents are involved. So if you thought even for an instance that the answer to the mystery of where is Summer Moon Utah Wells was in Donald's phone, you conceal it for 2 weeks, put it in a bag. Well, not just that. He downloaded a complete digital copy of the phone to his computer and then gave her the phone back, right? Subsequently, that iPhone ended up in the water too. I don't know why. You'd have to ask Candace that, right? So now I'm like, okay, so you didn't bring the phone physically straight to the police, and now you've not offered the police a copy of this digital folder. Like, what did you need all his information on your computer for? Oh, so when he gets out, all these pictures and photos, you know, that we're going to use for a documentary won't be lost. There's pictures of the boys, this, that, when they were babies, you know, toddlers, so on and so forth. He wasn't interested in relaying that folder to the police. And I said, why, Tim? And he said, because I'm not here for that part. Think about that for a minute. I'm not here for that part. He's not here for the part where it comes to potentially possessing a device that could have the answer in it if Donald Wells was involved. He was not interested. So I said, well, that's just fine. I know exactly where you live. I'm going to call the TBI and the Kingsport, the county sheriff, Mr. Lawson. I'm going to call both agencies, and I'm going to be prepared for the knock, my friend. They're coming. They're coming to get that copy. That was so important. The very day that they came, initially, they took every device in the house. Every digital piece of electronics went with them. You guys saw when I had the seizure receipt. They took iPads, they took phones, they took this and that. They took everything that was digital electronic, right? Now, to conclude this, I actually have one a little further than this. Ernie then allows, as the pinnacle of the other side of the V in the building her up, Ernie allows for her Cash App to be posted in his chat log. Right? That's it. That's the end of it. He broke her down, said everything she said on the downward slope, and then coming back up, she said all the things she said. He's given her a platform to do that, right? Trash the only people that are left that have confidence, you know, that she could rely on their confidence, right? Now I don't know what she's going to I don't want to say force, but we'll just use it for lack of a better term. I don't know what her and Don are going to force Matt and Noel to release now. Or maybe they won't release anything. So with that, I think that that's a pretty good spot to close it out. We are at 140. So I believe that that's a real solid place. He made her a mod, BGE, which I don't, you know, in the scheme of things, I get it. I think that it's part of the ploy of Ernie. It's like, I did see a number of comments that weren't really on the level, but that's even to suggest that she knows how to even use a wrench, right? So he still is broke her down, built her back up, and then give her a wrench and let her Cash App be distributed. So a ploy in the terms of trying to get what he wants out of her, not ploy like a scam or any of that, right? So I thank you all for joining me this evening, joining us. Thank you to all the moderators who have returned. I'll continue to add them, but right now I'm still rusty. So for me to really keep that train rolling, and then look over here at the chat log, it just is, I'm finding that it escapes me a little bit. So we'll sharpen up and we'll get it going. Probably be on the lookout for something tomorrow. The next idiot is going to take the show, right? And if you play with the clowns, you're a part of the circus. So, hey, Paisley, hey, Benny, there's chat. You're right. I did say that, Paisley. I did. Yeah, you're right. I did. And it's overwhelming to see that I was wrong, right? Definitely was wrong. Say, Ruby, thank you, gang. Namaste, for Husky, all of you. I will see you tomorrow. And, if you like, I'd ask that you go back. If you haven't seen what's actually happening with Don and Candace Wells, it's in my pre-recorded video section. Please go over and check that out. It's like a 10 or 12 minute deal, which will tie in to the front part of this. Thank you, Agright. And, you'll be able to sort of, move the pieces around in your mind and it all goes together. So anyways, I'm going to sign off like we used to. I appreciate all of you for joining me tonight. And always remember that the absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence. Have a great night.